My supervisor is suddenly questioning my PTO requests. I'm one of the ones in the office who has the best attendance. I barely miss work unexcused. Maybe once every couple of months I'll take off early unexpected. My wife is pregnant and we've had a ton of appointments this season, including some for me like dentists, PCP, etc. And for our 2-year-old daughter, which I like to be there as well. I was under the impression that I can use my sick time PTO for all of this. Now for some reason my supervisor is making comments like, "That's funny, you had an appointment last week. What's this one for?" Or, "What time is your appointment and why do you need more than 2 hours?" It's just making me uncomfortable and I feel like I'm doing something wrong. She's a great supervisor, but it seems she's been a little stressed lately. Should I be prepared to explain or have records of my appointments? I've earned my PTO and still have plenty saved up. I really don't use much. I had a boss like that once. Always questioning short times out of the office during normal hours. Whenever he asked, I'd look very serious and say it's medical. A few times he asked for more detail and I frowned and said it's medical. Same answer over and over. Eventually, he got the hint. There's no point debating with stupid people or assholes. Stop telling them what the PTO is for. When they ask, say I'm taking a PTO day. You don't have to explain or justify shit. And also look for a new job. You sound like a good employee, better hubby dad. Your employer's stress is not your problem. Likely thinking you are interviewing elsewhere. If you're good, she is likely worried about losing you. Especially if she is getting pressure from up above. Bring this up at your next review and see what her reaction is. Your boss is getting stressed because one of her highest attendance employees now suddenly is taking more than 1 or 2 hours off at a time and is interrupting her flow. Your supervisor is concerned you're looking for a new job. You have no requirements to tell her why you're taking off work. Just keep saying, "I have an appointment." You can, if you want, explain separately. You're happy with your job and not looking to leave at the moment. But your home life is more complicated than usual at the moment with more appointments than you've had previously. Others have said it great, it's medical, end of sentence. But I think you should stop using PCP. She sees an employee with great attendance suddenly need a few hours off periodically. She thinks you are interviewing. Just tell her, "I'm not interviewing. I'm taking care of some appointments I put off and using the paid time off I earned." What is your main concern? Probably worried you're going to job interviews. Just explain that it's medical appointments with your partner. If they ask for more details, like others have said, just repeat medical appointments. PTO, personal time off, none of their biz. How it works at my workplace. 1. Request day off. 2. Day off approved. Nothing else. It's nobody's business. Unless it affects my ability to return to work. Even then, Nunya probably thinks you're interviewing. This is private and inappropriate to ask. It's medical. I'm sick. Wasn't good enough. I reminded my supervisor that my colon had ruptured 2 years before. I spent 2019 having 3 major surgeries to get back to relatively normal. I'm having abdominal pain. I'd like to get to a doctor before I'm pooping myself on the inside again. I will not be there today. Suddenly, there were no more questions. As I have said on other threads, you don't request PTO. You notify them you are taking it. It's yours. Take it. A simple mind your business will take care of any questions. Oregon law was updated recently. You can record your boss saying these things without disclosing that you're recording her. If I were you, I'd record your conversations with her where she asks for information. BC She's not allowed to ask medical information. What's this appointment for? I know you said she's a good boss normally, but things change and you need to protect yourself in case anything happens. Now for some reason my supervisor is making comments like, that's funny, you had an appointment last week. What's this one for? Or what time is your appointment and why do you need more than 2 hours? Because I need to get away from your high assholiness. Could she be worried you're interviewing elsewhere? They're worried you are interviewing elsewhere and potentially leaving. Emo. Good. Let them worry. Every company should be fighting to keep you. You are under no obligation to tell them why you are taking off. I also heavily agree with some other comments saying that you are not asking. You are informing them of a change in your availability. They don't need to know why. Especially if it's medical. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's on shaky ground legally for them to pry like that in that context. Seems like the supervisor needs some additional training. Or needs to have a lecture from our. Yes, I have appointment. You are not my doctor, so what it's about is none of your business. If you weren't taking the time before and suddenly are in only 2 hours at a time, your boss probably thinks you are interviewing for a new gig. You see, it's paid time off that you earn. Your supervisor can get fucked. They have zero business questioning what you do with your earned time off. Please don't tell them of the pregnancy. In case they cover baby's health insurance and sack you so they don't have to pay for it. Employers also don't like new parents because of family leave and future days you are off because your kid is sick. OMG. No offense, but please disregard all other advice this thread, and the next time she asks, just calmly say, why do you need to know that? Put her on the spot to make her explain why she is asking, and then just make clear that you're uncomfortable and it's intrusive that they would ask. You're a working professional and don't need to account for what you do off the clock like a child. Your medical issues are none of their business, and if it doesn't affect your work, they don't need to know. They're allowed to ask and you're allowed to say no. She thinks you're taking time off to interview since you rarely took PTO before this. Personal. Time. OFF. It's none of their business what you do with your PTO. It's yours. You earned it as part of your compensation package. None of her business. She's on a little power trip. Ignore. He might think you are going on interviews. What I do off the clock is not under your supervision, thanks. PTO, prepare the others. Or don't, but I ain't gonna be here. Tell her you wish an appointment was 2 hours and leave it at that. All the driving etc. has to be factored in as well, so 2 hours can easily be 4. You're not obligated to share medical info. For what it's worth, I've found the best way to deal with this kind of thing is to be super friendly and super frank. It's totally disarming. Something like, yeah, we have to go and get the results of the ultrasound. Are you concerned I'm taking too much time off? Watch the squirm with pleasure. My job is literally not allowed to ask me my reasons for medical leave. Won't even hint at asking because they know we can complain to our union. I have my allowed number of days. It's none of your business why I use them. Teaching in Canada. All you have to say and possibly get a note for is it's a FMLA qualifying event. If you work for a place with more than 50 employees, get your FMLA request in. If it PTO, they either approve it or not. You don't have to give a reason. Time just has to be available. FMLA, once approved, gives you time off, paid or unpaid, whether or not time is available. They can't say no or ask why. You don't have to have an excuse to use PTO. If your desire is to watch porn all day at home, you can. Boss needs to mind own business.